Hi there.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm headed home, but I wanted to make sure I could contribute to the forum and I'm listening. And if I have anything to add, I'm not driving, so I can add to the chat. I just don't want to be distracted as this meeting goes on. So if I have stuff to say, I'll add to the chat until I can take over the lead.
Okay, excellent. Well, at least you're a passenger and you're not driving. That makes it a lot
Yes,
easier.
yes, very much. So I appreciate your stepping in.
That's my job as vice chair. I'm happy to help.
Um,
We'll give it to 3:02. How's that? Give it another minute or so.
Are there any guests there?
No, I am the only one in the room, except
Okay.
Jared. It's Jared and I having a party.
Okay. I thought I saw an email that Connie was gonna be via Zoom. Here she comes.
All right, there we go. All right, well, it's 3:02. Jared says we do have a quorum. So it is 3:02 on October 16th, Wednesday, and I'm going to call the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments Commission on Aging to order. Agenda approval.
I move to approve the agenda as written.
All right, thank you.
I'll second. This is Connie.
Thank you, Connie. All right, we've got a motion and second. All in favor or anyone opposed, raise your hand. That's easier. All right, agenda is approved. Consent items, all we have is the minutes from September 18 meeting. Did anyone see anything that needed to be changed on the minutes? If not, we can entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from September's meeting as written.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Connie. All right, any opposed, please raise your hand. All right, looks like minutes are approved. And welcome Dayton, looks like Dayton just showed up. Public comments and or presentations. Jared and I are the only ones in the room, so we do not have any public comments in public here. And I don't think anyone had signed on and requested. Is that correct, Jared?
That is correct, and everyone who is online is already a Commission on Aging member.
Okay, so we are just moving right along here. No public comments for today. Action items. I do not think we have any action items on our agenda. Next item is information items, and we do have membership committee. I don't think, Polly, you weren't sure if we were going to get an update on membership this meeting, were you?
Just so people know, I'm in a car driving back from Santa Fe, so Amy's running the meeting, so I don't have to be trying to do, I'm not driving myself, but I don't want to be distracted with trying to run a meeting and being on my phone. So that's why Amy's running the meeting. Membership, Jared, you can help me with this because I don't have my notes in front of me, but Penny Whitney is the newest member who has accepted and turned in an application for membership to the Commission on Aging. She did an incredible presentation to the commission last meeting on her role at UCCS and JAWS, the JAWS program. And then Erin, I know, reached out and had the discussion about becoming a member of the commission, and she was very excited for that opportunity. So that's the membership addition that I know about. I understand that Phil Stafford has reached out also and is still very interested, and I'm not sure what the status of his application is just yet. So those are the two members, new applicants that I know of. I'm not sure of any others. Jared, do you have any follow-up from Melissa that I might have missed?
So that's all that I'm aware of from Melissa and Aaron. I will just kind of clarify. I believe that Penny Whitney's appointment will be coming from the commissioners at El Paso County. And I believe that the plan was to put out a public call for their appointments, I believe on Monday, but I didn't check, so I don't know if that went out or not. And so I believe that would be coming through the appointment process from the commissioners. That usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to be an appointment from one of the member jurisdictions. But that's about all I've got to add.
Thank
Excellent.
you. And so with that being said, I know she is more than welcome to attend our meetings until that appointment is official. And she knows our standing meeting schedule and time, so I wouldn't be surprised if she might jump on or will join us for the remainder of the year meetings until she's officially appointed. I'll shut up now.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, and Erin is not with us today, and poor Melissa is not well. She is home recovering, so that will provide us with at least a good update. Next, our policy committees, and I am looking up my notes from the Center on Aging, and let me just pull them up real quick. There was a rundown about housing, HOA housing with Representative Tatone, and I'm trying to remember what other representative, and they were talking about HOA, which really doesn't have much of a nexus. And though I do believe that HOAs can be a challenge for some seniors based on fees and based on restrictions. And that's basically, they were discussing, was there anything that they wanted to work on with legislation for the 2025 session? So that's basically all I have to update on the meeting that we had on Monday. Legislative committee, let's see. Jared, what did we talk about? I'm sorry, I have been so busy.
So we were able at the last legislative committee was last Monday, I believe, the 7th. At that meeting, we introduced to legislative committees our new lobbyist of record, Bowditch and Castle. That is Ed Bowditch and Jennifer Castle. We went to an open RFP this summer, got 6 absolutely amazing applicants. I think 86 would have done a fantastic job. But Ed Bowditch and Jennifer Castle rose to the top. They are also the lobbyists for several county and cities, so they know the government sector really well. They are also the lobbyists for the Denver Regional Council government, so they know the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is our transportation side. They know AAA's incredibly well. They were a big part of all the AAA bills that went through this last legislative session. But the primary topic at the legislative committee last Monday was focused on the 5 bills that came out of the Transportation Legislative Review Committee. Those are bills that will be introduced at the start of the 2025 session. And since we actually have bill drafts, that was where the focus of the committee was. The committee will not meet again. Oh no, they will meet actually the Monday before Election Day. And then we were able to finalize our legislative brochures and priorities document at the last meeting as well. So that'll go for board approval at the November meeting, at the November board meeting. Happy to answer any questions on the PPCG legislative side, but that's kind of what has been going on since the last meeting of the commission.
Right, and I believe that Commissioner Eric Stone from Teller County just gave an update on some legislation that's on the books for regionally, but it doesn't have a nexus on what we do with the Commission on Aging. So we're just all getting ready for the onslaught in January. I did find my notes on the Center for Aging, and it was Representative Brianna Tatone and Naketa Ricks who were talking about homeowners associations, and that's basically all they covered in the meeting. Next item is Colorado Commission on Aging. And I know that that meeting is like a day after we meet, so we're kind of a month in arrears on those reports.
Yes, that is true. And I am no longer on that committee. My term ran out, and last month Penny was commissioned. So she is now the commissioner for District 5.
All right, thank you, Kathy. And we are, we're thrilled to have you still joining us. And I guess when Penny does get formally nominated through El Paso County commissioners to sit with us, then she'll be providing reports. But Kathy, thank you for the service you provided in sitting on the Colorado Commission on Aging. Your efforts were greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, PPACG board items. Since Melissa's not here, Jared, we'll defer to you again.
And I am working off of without notes at the moment, so if you allow me to pull up real quick. It was a relatively, I will say, quick meeting. A lot of focus on CDOT because there is some activity going along at the Transportation Commission level, as well as our long-range transportation plan. From a just kind of going through my notes from that meeting, nothing specific to the Area Agency on Aging. But it was heavy on the transportation side just because that department is really gearing up. Similar to how the AAA does a 4-year plan, the transportation folks do a long-range transportation plan. And so that is what's eating up a lot of their focus at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, chair report. Paula, do you have anything to share with your report?
Just of our discussion about commitment to the commission and attendance of commissioners and priority, and I was last month coming off of a poorly attended board meeting that morning and then walked into a poorly attended commissioner meeting in the afternoon. So just curious as to the commitment the commissioners on this board, and we had a pretty candid discussion. Melissa was present about going over the bylaws and what it states as far as attendance and what people's thoughts are, because there are some that come regularly, there are some that don't come regularly at all. And so it's one thing to say you're on the commission, and it's another thing to say you're on it and show up and be an active participant. So that's the report that's the conversation I'd like to continue with the group. And again, the group is not as large as I would like it to be today to continue that conversation. Aaron was part of that conversation last time, and I totally understand meetings come up and things, and it's nice to be alerted of an absence that's going to be coming, that you're not going to be in attendance, and I totally get that. We do meet hybrid to help that not be the case for if needed, if at all possible, to be able to meet via Zoom if you can't make it in person, and especially with the weather that's coming. It makes it convenient to be able to still make the meetings. We've been meeting at this day and time for years, and so I don't want to change the meeting date and time because it has been like this for years, and the majority seem to be able to make it, or the people that show the interest in wanting to be on the commission and participate on the commission are the ones that are showing up. So that's what I want to throw out there as far as an ongoing discussion. And if anybody else has input or comments, I welcome them.
All right, Dayton, see that your hand is up.
Yeah, Paula, I really appreciate you and the executive committee taking a little bit closer look into that. I know volunteerism, whether it be commission, board, coalition work, is always a struggle. It's a challenge to keep people engaged, keep them coming, and prioritize the work that we're doing. And I think with your close eye and leadership, I think we could certainly get there and kind of really get a better stride in place, because I've also noticed that. And I feel like we maybe can kind of reach out to people and see what's going on at just kind of at a friend level. Secondly, I think what would be helpful to kind of inform that conversation, to your point, is like looking at the bylaws, having that detail in front of us to understand what is kind of the enforcement around the level of engagement would be helpful to know what sort of what teeth do we have behind us to kind of get people back, get people engaged, and really at a level to make this thing fire on all cylinders as it should be. I don't think, and I really hope that we as a commission can share with one another where we're at a place of like, I'm not in a place capacity wise to contribute as much as I want to, and what this seat deserves. I think we should all really reflect on that question occasionally. At the same time, I do think we have an extraordinarily talented group here, and folks that are and can step up to the challenge. So sorry, I'm rambling. My one request would be that we get the sort of specifics from the bylaws so we understand kind of the enforcement that could be had in the event that people are not engaged at the level that we need them to be, including myself, of course.
I appreciate your comments, and I am happy to bring those bylaws to everyone's attention through the minutes that we will put out from this meeting, and we can have people review them prior to the next meeting and have another discussion about what's stated. And I know bylaws are often written and never looked at, and just what's stated as far as expectation, mission, the value of what our commission is. I don't know how often maybe we need to reflect on that, and maybe just start our meetings with stating our mission, so that it's reinforced every meeting, and that it brings us back to the beginning of why we're here, and then we dive deeper into our meetings. But Dayton, I really appreciate your comments, your feedback, and your willingness to be just very spot on and candid as always with your feedback. Anybody else?
Yes, Madam Chair, I think the impact of the committee in the past and the possible impact in the future, I think encouragement is better than, how shall I say, better than saying people aren't doing this and aren't doing that, but encouraging people to participate more and to bring their ideas. Because people maybe don't know that their ideas could be valuable.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks.
Kathy. Honey is definitely better than vinegar in trying to help with engagement. And Paula, if you want to go on, please do.
No, I get that, and I appreciate that comment. Uh, we're professionals, we're all professionals. We all know, what our commitment is to our jobs, to our profession, to our families. I think we can definitely lift each other up in various ways. I don't mean to be coming down negatively, but because we are adults and professionals, I don't think we need to coddle people to be on this commission. I think if you're willing to commit to a board and commission, you commit. I don't think we need to coddle people to come to meetings. I've served on many a commission. Committee and board, and like Dayton said, you can reevaluate where you are with your other commitments and other priorities. And if it doesn't fit, you know what? It doesn't fit. And I've had to bow out of many committees and boards. Life changes, and it's okay. It's not stating that you are a failure. It's not stating that in any way you are lacking in your world at the time. It's a season, and you're welcome to revisit it always. But I that's just my feeling. This is something that I know Dayton and Amy, you've been on it long enough to have seen the evolution of what we were and what we've become, and it's night and day from what it was when I started a couple years back to what it is now. And I just think we need to keep moving forward with the strength and determination and commitment that we have right now with the people that are in it to make a difference.
Would anyone else like to make a comment? I'll chime in. We did discuss at the executive committee meeting also, renewals are coming up. We have 2 people who are going to term out in December. And I believe I am appointed, but I think I term out also. And it all depends on if I'm employed or not as my appointment. I could always be an at-large, but with elections, who knows what my status will be for serving in 2025. So it would be great to have that conversation. Looks like Dayton and Danielle are both terming out in December. Of course, that doesn't mean you cannot re-up. And we will maybe have a good focused conversation on, membership, what it means, and, how we can continue getting a good group of people who want to keep moving forward with the projects that we're working on. So thank you, everybody, for that.
Amy, if I may, I think so that I can't tell you how much I appreciate that information. I think, membership recruitment wise, both with those sort of, with the folks who are turning out and then those that may need to bow out, I think that really informs our recruitment strategy of how many seats we need to fill to kind of get some new energy and if that's needed. So I kind of want to raise my hand in helping if I can in that way, Aaron or whoever with membership, so that if we have a clear sort of number of seats we are wanting to fill, I think we could really build off of that, of saying, we need 3 or 4 seats filled as a result of X, Y, and Z having to bow out and these folks terming out. we need to fill this by this time. I think that really helps, really helps clarify and might kind of get our feet to the fire in recruitment mode for folks.
Yeah, and Dayton, thanks for that. I can provide a little bit more detail. We have 14 open slots for appointments within the PPACG purview, which is municipalities, counties and such. Town of Calhoun, let's see, City of Manitou Springs, Woodland Park, City of Victor, El Paso County, which is going to be filled with Penny, Town of Alma, City of Cripple Creek, Town of Fairplay, Town of Green Mountain Falls, Town of Monument, Town of Palmer Lake, Town of Rima, Teller County, El Paso County Department of Health Services. And so, plus we have the two at large who are termed, and then me who is an unknown. So, we could really have a large contingent if we could fill all of those slots within all these towns. And I have tried to find people from Fairplay and Alma. It's a heavy lift, but I will continue my effort to find somebody who wants to serve under those two appointments of those two municipalities. And we can use that list as kind of a goal as well.
Madam Chair, do you mind if I jump in?
Oh, please,
A
Jared.
little bit. So the listings that you mentioned, so we've got essentially two categories of membership. We have those that are appointed by the jurisdictions, which Commissioner Mitchell went through. We also have the at-large positions. And in the bylaws that we just updated a couple of months ago, that gives us up to 19 at-large positions. Those are positions that the commission can fill on its own and then submit to the board of directors for approval. Whereas opposed to the jurisdictional appointments, which those are appointed by the jurisdictions, the Commission on Aging really does not weigh it on those. Those are the seats that the jurisdictions can appoint whoever they choose. And I will kind of say that, because we've had this discussion a lot, there are 16 jurisdictions in PPACG. There are 16 different ways to appoint jurisdictional appointments. But the at-large positions are ones that are a little bit more within the purview of the commission to fill itself, and might be the ones that this group can target a little bit more effectively. Whereas for the jurisdictional appointments, and I've talked to some of the mayors on the board, some of the mayors are just thrilled when they have a full council, especially these smaller jurisdictions. And so to find a position, a volunteer for another position when they can't fill their town council positions is a real challenge for some of them. So, but I will also say for jurisdictions, they can pick whoever they choose. They don't have to be a resident. We've kind of kept it broad enough because there are some times when, we have it on some of our other committees where the person who represents the town is not a resident of the town, but that they can choose who they like.
Thank you, Jared. Good information. And Dayton, looks like your hand is up again.
Yeah, sorry, Amy. It might be my last time.
No,
But,
all good.
No, I hear you, Jared. That is extremely helpful clarification and like kind of the two different avenues in which someone can become a commissioner, whether through appointment of the jurisdiction or by our own account in terms of the recruitment of at-large members. I don't know in terms of low-hanging fruit of us being able to lean on PPACG as kind of our backbone support of a regularly sent plug. I don't know all your channels, comms channels, but I think of like a monthly sort of plug of join the commission. I don't know how light of a lift that would be by the PPACG to do for us as a commission, knowing that we're in kind of recruitment mode. But if we could establish a cadence of plug using your comms channels, I think that would be super helpful. And I know we've talked about a flyer and that type of thing, and Melissa's done and others have done a great job getting out tabling and looking to recruit in that way too. But if we get kind of a regular scheduled, third Thursday of every month, there's a plug on social media of join the Commission on Aging. I think that that might go a long way.
So I'll jump in again. So we do put that into the board packet each month. And so they have a list of all the vacancies that they can appoint to. It doesn't include the at-larges or some of the other categories because some other committees do have different keys like CDOT and that kind of stuff. But of the appointments that the jurisdictions can make, they get that in their board packet each month. And our board chair has done a good job of trying to call that out each month to try to get that list. Right now, I think we're on 3+ pages. She's trying to get that under 3. So.
Right. Thank you, Jared. And probably oh, go ahead, Dayton.
Sorry, I was going to say, so Jared, that certainly is great for sort of the jurisdiction appointment avenue, but for the at-large avenue, is it possible that the PPACG could commit to kind of a social media plug monthly?
So I'd say that's probably a bigger discussion. A lot of times for the committees that have at-large appointments, we kind of do it typically as a 30-day, 60-day notice. Not saying we have to do it that way, but that's just how we've done it with other committees in the past. And so I think that's just something, that's probably a better discussion to have in the membership committee, just to kind of see, okay, we want to fill these seats. How do we want to do it? Do we want to, there's a couple different ways that we can approach this. I will say from social media perspective, if we get double-digit impressions on our organic post, that's good for us. Unfortunately, organic reach is minimal at best.
It's good to know. Thanks, Jared.
All right. Thank you. And Connie, I saw your hand was up. Did you want to make a comment?
I've had a couple thoughts through this conversation, and I think in regards to attendance and things of that nature, it would be very encouraging to just have that reminder of this is what's expected and this is what can be accomplished when we are all in attendance, and really bringing to light the power this committee can have, or this commission can have, if we all work together and we know each other. And then secondary to all of this conversation is that community outreach piece. Are we known in these different committees or communities around Colorado? Are we even recognized outside of the PPCGA? Sorry, my brain's not quite working today, but community outreach I think would be very helpful, not just from a recruitment piece, but then we can have a better understanding of the needs of our communities and things like that. So coming up next summer, I'd be more available to help with a specific kind of community outreach, whether that's at Cripple Creek or Manitou, or, in these communities where we need more recognition to then be able to recruit members and things like that. But that's just something that's kind of come to my mind, because I know social media is great. I'm not sure that's our right demographic right now too, of the needs we need to be aware of within these communities. So it's just kind of the thoughts that I've had kind of listening to the conversation. I think Dayton, you've brought up a lot of really good points that we just need to pay more attention to these pieces, and reminders are good. I know every nonprofit I've spoken to in the last 3 months, including my own women's group in the last 3 months, we've had low attendance numbers. People have had weird life things happen over this year. So it could be just a fluke, but it's always good to kind of regroup, remind everybody of what we are able to accomplish, and then maybe encourage us all to work together again. And then maybe an in-person thing where, yes, this hybrid is incredibly helpful, especially speaking for myself, that I'm able to attend because of the hybrid for the most part. But I know there is that energy revitalized when people do get together. So maybe it's not quite the commission, official meeting, and we pick another date and time that might work for an in-person kind of regroup moment. But that's just something that's been recommended at other committees that I've been a part of too.
Thank you. Good conversation. Anyone else like to chime in? And I think a lot of it is we just have to keep it in the front of our mind, because networking is really the most effective way to recruit. when we are working in these areas of assisting seniors. So I think that we just all have to keep it forefront, and we will continue this conversation. Penny Everest, I see your hands up.
Yes, would it be okay to put that into our newsletter?
Into the Park
Park
County
County
Senior Coalition newsletter?
Yes,
Absolutely.
all right.
We
we'll
should,
do that.
because
Not a problem.
you reach, I mean, our goal is to have a large percent on the committee as seniors. And we do reach all of our seniors in Park County. So
Yes,
excellent
yes.
idea.
All right, I'll
Go
do that.
forth and promote.
We have one coming out here in another week. So
Thank
good
you.
timing. All right.
Yeah. All right. Any other conversation to be had? All right. So I think next
Just,
month, go ahead.
Amy, I just want to clarify who is the phone number on the meeting so that we can know who all is on the meeting. I know Lucy Crandall joined us and Penny joined us from Park County, but I'm not clear on who the phone number is on the call.
Paula, that is Phil Stafford.
Phil. Okay.
Thank you so
Excellent.
much, Phil. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Good to have you on. Yeah, so we will continue this conversation and probably have a conversation, November and then of course December, about membership and where we are with the couple people who are termed out, and see if they want to re-up. Any other comments on membership? Okay, next is work group updates. Penny Everest. I have not been able to get a hold of Rita to find out where we are in Park County on the libraries getting telehealth up and going, because I know there's a couple grants in process. Do you have any additional information?
I don't have any additional right now, but now as I'm thinking, my program manager, Jeff, does spend a lot of time together with them, and I can have him reach out to her and see exactly where she's at with that.
Okay, because I know last time I talked, she had a couple grants to get some equipment for
Yes.
telehealth, but she was pretty confident that it was going to come through. It's just I have not tracked her down, and so if Jeff is willing to do that, that would be great to get an update, and we can provide
Oh, yeah.
that next month. And if we can let people know what we've done in the Park County side, we can share that with some of the more rural areas throughout the PPACG area to let others maybe piggyback on what we've done to help expand the reach of telehealth.
Agreed, definitely. And I know that she has them in a couple of the libraries. I don't know if she finished out the last few that she was doing. So we'll definitely follow up on that. I'll let you know right away.
Okay, well, yeah, next meeting is fine.
Okay, very good.
And anyone else have an update on their work groups?
For the caregiving one, it has been requested that we do not partner with the Caregiver Pampering Day. And so we are going to need to regroup and kind of reanalyze some of the ideas and things that we've had. We just haven't been able to, as far as I know, narrow down a date with all the committee members.
Yeah, understood. If somebody wants to be pampered, they want to be pampered and not have to do anything else. So I understand that. And then let's see. Community engagement is another one of the groups. Or senior engagement, activities, outreach. All right, maybe in our next meeting call, we'll ping each of the groups and see if they can provide just a little bit more information on what they've got going. Discussion items. Anything else we would like to discuss?
Amy, I'll raise my hand while I'm talking already. Sorry about that. So I do want to get on the radar that related to that digital equity resource coming down the pipeline from the state capacity. Capacity grants will be, the timeline is still kind of shaky, it's unknown, but what I could say is that the Office of Future Work is really looking forward to funding what they're calling fiscal agency partners, who are willing to kind of be a backbone support in helping coalitions emerge in different communities. They've broken it down in terms of resources across the regions as well as counties. Also recognizing that not every individual county is going to apply, but they've come up with a formula to be able to, to the best of their ability, equitably kind of allocate those resources across the state. But I really want to get it on this group's radar because I don't know if there's an existing coalition in place or communities that might be interested in going after those funds. It'll be the first tranche over a 5-year period. So want to get that in front of this group that there is going to be an opportunity coming down the pipeline. I'll be sure to keep everyone up to date on any sort of webinars, more information to be able to kind of tap into those resources. But I think the important thing is really just the state going about it in an innovative way and encouraging this sort of cultivation of coalitions across the state in a way that can be effective and sustainable. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And I think there's a lot of different angles that communities can become empowered based off of their priorities, whether that be telehealth or making sure people are able to get online first and foremost, and then secondly, navigate online in a safe way. So there's a good amount of components to this, and it's really an exciting time. Competitive grant wise, that ended on the 23rd of September, where NTIA awarded, I think they were aiming for 120 awardees across the country, of granting them $5 to $12 million in that range a piece. And I know of, and this is not exhaustive, but I know at least of 4 different entities in Colorado that applied for the competitive grant funding. So I think that will be sort of made known down the road, that could even inform further partnerships where resources might be being leveraged and efforts might be kind of ramping up for. So I'll stop there. I know that's a lot of information, but I think the takeaway is FYI on a lot of efforts, energy is going on in the digital equity space, and I will keep everyone apprised.
Thank you, Dayton. And I have a question. The capacity grants that are going to be made available, is it like if a library does not have a computer, or to be able to teach people, make it available for computer access if they do have internet? I mean, can you kind of give us a scope of what projects or coalitions would be available for the funding?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fine print, Amy, at a high level. The idea is that these fiscal agency partners that are looking to be funded in this first tranche, so there's going to be an RFP out for those types of entities to apply for and be that sort of backbone support for those coalitions, and help them sort of convene, emerge, have conversations, help their structure to be able to actually receive the funding. And the idea is once these coalitions are created or developed for these communities, they're empowered in a way of kind of voicing what the resources are needed for their community. So to your point, if it's a library saying we need more computers, then they'll be able to voice that to that backbone organization. And that money will kind of get funneled to that. If you're getting a lot of folks saying we need more digital literacies, literacy programming down here and trainers and curriculum, all that stuff, then that will be kind of a thing. So as long as it aligns, I'm being bold here, but I feel like the digital access plan that Colorado has put together has done it in a way where you could look at the KPIs and the data sets. And I feel like if coalitions and folks are kind of aligned with those things, then that positions them best to get the resources.
Thank you. All right. Good information. Appreciate that. Anyone else have any update? I think we've got, trying to think of the last working group was social engagement. Okay. Anyone have an announcement? Member entity announcements. Penny, I'm going to put you on the spot. Why don't you tell us how your 40-year anniversary went on Friday? I apologize, I could not attend. I already had a commitment. But how did it go?
It went extremely well. We had 28 that showed up. Brittany Patterson was there with her son, and Rob was there, Rob Green, and all the board members showed up, and then we had a lot of our clients show up too. So it was really great, a lot of fun. We had door prizes. I have some really great volunteers who know how to keep things going, and they just like went and took control of the room. Like, no, just sit and hang out with everybody, and we'll do this, you know. So everybody had a lovely time.
Thank you, and congratulations on 40 years of the Senior Coalition.
Yes, 40 years.
Anyone else have an announcement or anything to share? Seeing none. Our next commission meeting is November 20th of next month, 3 o'clock p.m. And it will be a hybrid again. And then just to call out, executive committee meeting is the first Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. And policy meetings are convened as needed and will be noticed if they are going to convene one. And PPACG meetings are the second Wednesday. And they also have a hybrid format. So items for next meeting is membership appointments. So we will be adding Penny Whitney. We hope if the El Paso County Commissioners get her appointment through by then, and anyone else who wants to make any commitments on re-upping, or if we have any other potential people that we have found to visit us to see if they are interested in becoming a member, a commissioner. Anything else for the good of the order?
I just want to say thank you, Amy, and thank you, Paula, for your leadership in this group. And please, if don't be shy. If we need some extra hands, extra eyes, I'm happy to just step up for you guys.
Thank you, Dayton. You've been really good glue to help hold things together as well, and your knowledge base is greatly appreciated because I don't live and breathe in this space. This is just one space that I have passion for. So we appreciate all of you. Last call for a comment. Go ahead, Paula. You want to close us out?
I just echo that, your comments, Amy, and I appreciate you leading the meeting since I was not in a place to lead appropriately in a car on the way back from Santa Fe and a funeral. So I appreciate your ability to step in, and very nicely run, and look forward to hopefully seeing most people next month on the 20th.
All right, thank you. And heart goes out to you for having to attend a funeral. We're very sorry. And if there is nothing else, I will call the meeting adjourned. Everybody have a great month. We will see you in November.
Thanks, Amy. Bye, Connie. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.